This video is looking at my phone, so they've weaponised it against me. I had the enemy working at a taxi firm, tracked and traced by Nazis, fascists, socialists, who have been persecuting me for 20 decades. For 20 years, that's 2 decades. And they're the old and the new, who is connected to very important public figures and politicians whose names I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction to mention their disgusting names. So I am the opposite of them, not a socialist, not a fascist, not a Nazi, not a narcissist, and I'm not here to even bother rebuking them. I'm just here to say that it's a human rights abuse, that even my foster mum, who I haven't seen for 10 years, has said that it is better to have things traditionally than to rely on new technology, that it's extremely dangerous regarding surveillance. They're tracking and tracing illegally my every step, my every move, and having conversations without me being involved, which is, again, me going through the journey. It's not about me rebuking them, because if I rebuke them, that's the worse they get, the more threatening they get. So I'm going to make this video about me, not about them. So, the date and what I did and what happened exactly, without breaking any community standards for internet sharing and social media. So first of all, I'm going to share the date. I'm not sharing any videos, God no. I'm not sharing any videos. I just want the date. I don't want YouTube videos. Oh my God, this is so sensitive. Go away. Okay, so I just want to clear my page and get the date. That's all I wanted. And then carry on talking. So it's Wednesday, the 12th of November, 2025, 8 in the morning, in the afternoon. What am I saying? So my entire life has been about the narcissist. It has been about them as a type of a parasite who has overtaken my body and my life, which is disgusting. And they know I don't like them. And they know that they're stronger than me physically, stronger than me spiritually, stronger than me emotionally, stronger than me intellectually. And in my weakness, God is stronger than them. God is my strength and my witness, right? So going back to my picture on my phone. And so they think it's funny. They found all my enemies, including my toxic relatives, and then they find out exactly what I don't like or what they're talking about to amplify it, to turn the entire village, the entire country to make me out to be the villain and them to be a tyrant victim. And so this is what they want. They even want to take my life story of those that I love. So they're looking at those who hate me and those who love me, so that they say it's not about me and my friends and family who love me, it's about my friends and family who love them, that they're going to turn against me. So they're doing both sides. They're double trouble. They're looking at those who don't like me and those who do like me, to frighten me, to make me bow down to their disorders, which is annoying, to say the least. My camera, oh God, as I use the camera, it's only 13% battery, so that means I'm being battered. I can't turn, they're beating me up, I can't turn they're beating me up emotionally because I wanted to turn the torch on. I can't turn the torch on when it's very low battery. What I'm going to do is turn this phone around and use this phone's battery. This one has a bigger battery on it. It's more charged, 92%. So I'll turn it around in just a second, for the sake of those listening, how the destroyer is destroying too much in my life, and how technology, according to my foster mum, who is in her 80s nearly, traditionally warning us, the younger generation, that relying on technology is the worst thing anyone can ever do, because it becomes a key and a tool of the bad guys, the booty lot, the bad guy, to never be good. Some of them would be reformed and changed for good, but it's very rare. So what I want to show, I have to zoom in. When I'm looking through my screenshots in the camera gallery, which is also used against me, all the taxi drivers are a particular firm who have always given me a picture of allowed me to take a picture of their card, their bank card, because the enemy has taken over my bank account. These same lot who have kidnapped my daughter are ruling the world through our bank accounts, and possibly Freemasons, if not Freemasons, somebody else that I won't mention, who is a globalist. They've taken over my bank account. If I ask for a PIN for the ATM machine, and then send me a PIN in the post. I then go to the ATM machine in pain because I'm standing for longer than 10 minutes or so to try and activate it at the hole in the wall outside ATM machine. The PIN is not recognised, even if it's the most recent PIN. So they've caused a trouble. They've caused a technical error deliberately on all my 3 accounts. I have 3 because I originally want to use one for bills, one for shopping on the internet, and the other one for emergency services to store up and save up. Hello, my pet. Came to visit me. So they've overtaken that using technologies, even though that I'm not using internet banking, they are spying on my bank account through politicians, corruptions, politicians, globalists, and all of these to rule the world, which they've targeted me specifically using me as an experiment. And I can't prove it, but I'm hoping to one of these days prove it. Enjoy some nice rattling sounds in the background of my hamsters going around, playing with paper and wrappers and packages in the background noise. Sound like fire. So, not the bad type, good type of fire. So here, he provided me, he said, there is another way you could pay rather than use our machine, which is a handheld machine for the taxi driver. Just take a screenshot or a picture or a video of my card, and that has worked well for 2 appointments I had with a GP doctor. And I paid immediately with a transfer, no problem. And today, the 3rd appointment with a GP, which is today's date, November the 12th, 2025. This driver was different, and he farted a stink bomb inside the car. So it's been taken over by the enemy. It's been watching me to see what's my advantage to turn it into a disadvantage and a disservice. They're called Tudor cars in Chorley Wood and in Uxbridge Road, Rickmansworth, because they know that the Antichrist, who is very similar to a Nazi, and many English and many Serbians and former Yugoslavians and Europeans are Nazi collaborators. In other words, they're double dealing. So many Europeans, many English would be a bit of both. They want the best of both worlds, hell and heaven. Many comedians are a bit of both, and they're the worst type. So, if they've suddenly taken over my car services, which is Tudor cars, I can't use them anymore. So, including the Queen of England herself and King Charles in England, who is collaborating with the Nazis. I'll deny it. So now I'm saying names. I said I wasn't going to say any names not to get me into trouble, but now I have to say the names. I'm not giving any choice in the matter because I need to identify who is attacking me. If it's not King Charles, then he's passed me over to some type of a domestic terrorist connected to Saudi Arabia through Jonathan Pye and the tweet that I used to tweet backdated 6 years ago, following Jonathan Pye and whoever he followed, which was a big mistake, who was Saudi Arabia. Then I was horrified to find out what was happening in that country and all their princes, and I stopped following because I didn't know who they were. And then the next thing I know, I'm hacked by Arab Emirates for a total of 2022 year all the way to 2025, and it becomes a death threat. And so, if I could, I would take Jonathan Pye to court because he's enabled these foreigners to attack me. If I hadn't followed Jonathan Pye, then I would have never followed these Arabs. And so they pop up onto my screen, including many war criminals, and various types from various countries, not only Saudi Arabia. And I wasn't even following; they're following me, including many who are against Christians. So it's extremely scary, and I don't want to associate with them. And I have no choice in the matter, so they're protecting themselves, but they won't protect the most vulnerable. They've allowed access to me. And how I know that, so the GP, I get into the car today, in a stinky car, which is connected to Just Eat, how they've sent me shopping, and inside the shopping bag it was a fart. So it was a fart bomb inside my shopping in the summer 2025. Now it's the winter, there's a stink bomb fart signature of the same domestic terrorist and stalker and spy in my taxi car. So it's taken the wrong turn. It's violating my privacy on my journey. So I get in this stinky car, I've asked them to open the window, I'm feeling it reeks. I don't do that in public. If I have to fart, I hold it in and go to the toilet. Even if I have a loose bowel or a pad because I've lost saddle sensation and I can't control it. I very rarely go out, and then if I have a pad, I would just go to the bathroom and stay there. So I don't fart in public, and my farts do not stink. And it reminded me of Roger S., whose name I will mention, whom I've reported to the police in 2022. How he is 40 years older than me. He could be old enough to be a granddad. He had overpowered me. He had molested me. He had lied to me. He had put a trap on me. And he had boasted that he has a girlfriend when after I rejected him. So I rejected him before he rejected me. He was bragged about all his evil freedoms. And we used to do a game, which was Fart Fame versus Horrible Fireworks. So, Rocket Bottom. That was our game. But his farts would stink so much. He would eat chili con carne and disgusting food that I don't like, such as curries and spicy foods that I don't like. But because I have been bleached inside out, I don't stink. I don't have that many hormones, and I don't have spicy foods. If I have spicy foods or egg, which is very rare that I eat egg, I would drink plenty. So I would eat egg like every 4 or 5 months, even longer than that. And so I find it, I'm very rarely constipated, and not the other way around. And I found that when I'd eaten the egg, my 3 o'clock afternoon appointment was the wrong appointment. It's best to have the last appointment, about 4 or 5, because then that gives me more of a time frame to do a poop sample. And so I was given the 3rd appointment, and I thought that was very wonderful of the GP service to do. They phoned me and they arranged it for me. After I found it extremely difficult for disabled people or vulnerable or fragile or frail to use the internet services to book an appointment, which the government has made mandatory. Even for people who don't have internet access, they are forced to have internet, to use their friend's internet to book an appointment with a doctor, which is cruelty, and it's a Nazi way forward of our lives, taking over our lives. So it's a total lie when they say if you don't have an internet access, you don't have to have a triage internet appointment. It's a total disinformation. In reality, that's not the case, because they continually urge all patients, GPs and doctors, to book an appointment online only, otherwise you can't see a doctor. And to intensify the pain and increase the problem, they have known I've been a victim of online fraud and identity theft. They have said, in order for you to access your appointment portal online, you must be registered with the NHS and use their app or use their online service. You can't do it without a valid passport or driving license, and none of these I have available that is up to date. And I noticed on the NHS, my old phone numbers, which were hacked on there, coming from the Arab Emirates and connected to BT, who have robbed me. And again, this is awful. They couldn't be deleted, even though I asked to delete it. It refused to allow me to delete the old email and the old telephone number, which is organised crime deliberately done by the corrupt government, which then allows the hackers to track and trace my new phones, my new life, and my new emails, and my new devices, which is a crime against humanity. It's a repeated cycle of abuse, not only done to me, but to everyone in the United Kingdom, England, probably in America. It's a disservice. It's horrifying. And so, also everything that I use on that thing there, oh my god, well, what all this is popped up. So that thing there, with my finger just circling as a shadow, which is called a SIM card, is also tracked and traced. So when I reduce the MB to GB, so I can have more space and files, and as I transfer and rename, in the process of rename, it gives online access for multi-billionaires to steal and delete your evidence. I can't believe it. So in the process of organising it, they disorganise it, mismanage it. This is cyberbullying. So it's better not to organise and not to rename. So it does give you the option in the file to rename and organise ABC and title, rename your files. And the more I try to be organised, the more they attack, which is automatically a link to online links, which I don't want to be. It's not open to online, and yet these multi-billionaires have done it so, which is a violation of privacy. Also, I've noticed on YouTube, where you have, let me go to there to show what I'm talking about. hidden it. I've hidden my YouTube. So then I go to my controller, which is up here on the right-hand corner. They've also turned me, who is a princess and the queen for Christ, into a troll. It looks like a plastic doll or some type of a horrible monster. It makes me look like not my best potential, my worst. Hair cut short, can't be a woman, can't be a human, all to please my enemies, who have overtaken and outnumbered and overpowered me. Using technology is the worst thing. It's extremely bad because of what I've just said with the letter O and all the letter O's in the dictionary. And yeah, my eyes don't look right. The eyebrows are correct, the nose is incorrect, the mouth is incorrect. So I've been cloned into someone else, which is extremely horrible, nightmarish horror of war. And it's disgusting. So now I'm going to go to try and find my hidden YouTube video. Show exactly where it's human right abuse. Open. Go over to the settings. And I'm going to put some lights on. It's way too dark in here. Okay. So go to the appearance light. And then go to, oh my God. Because I'm watching them, they're watching me. They're there to destroy all humanity and all God's God-given blessings. So when I go and find the exact what I'm looking for and hidden things. So here it is, downloads, without my permission. Some royalists, Freemasonists, Satanists are downloading things from my SD card and things from online accounts. And they automatically switch it on even though I've switched it off. So it's a privacy violation of Article 8 and identity theft, which has been enabled. So even though I am not part of purchasing YouTube, I'm using it for free. If I was purchasing YouTube, then this function is fair. Since I am not purchasing YouTube, this function is unfair, since I'm not downloading anything. It's a free YouTube service. So it's extremely dangerous, this one here, for people who are in poverty or people who are not purchasing YouTube. So it goes against my community standards. That's it, I mentioned that. So going back to the date, which I hate because it's evil. This enemy has overtaken my taxi, which is Tudor cars. The driver is the enemy. The driver smells as horse's poo or as cow bull poo. It's dominating my journeys. It's dominating everything about my life, including where I go, watching me for bad, which is a death threat. And I don't know who they are. The police apparently know who they are, but they're telling about my night because they hate my race. Which is utterly ridiculous because I have already said my race, which is from former Yugoslavia, is as badly mixed and mingled as the English race and the European race in general with the bad guy. I want to stop calling it Nazi. I want to stop calling it fascist and socialist, populist, humanist. I want to stop that. I only want to call them bad guys. So what the internet and technology has done is made it possible to confuse the masses so that nobody knows who the bad guy is. The greatest trick the devil has ever done is convince everybody that it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the devil. They'll normalize these crimes against humanity. So next, I want to zoom in and see Just Eat. The only picture I have of me, of my eyes that are accurate, is this picture. Trying to go to the find the Just Eat and what they've done, which is another crime, which I'm going to explain, which should not be happening, but it is. And again, it's connected to billionaires, the Arabs, both types, those who are for Israel and those who are against Israel, and many, many more. So just go to, so I have deliberately not paid this man because I want to complain about his fart. It's disgusting. So I'll not pay him until this time tomorrow. I'll pay. That's my plan. Because he's dodgy. And also his name is Ali. same name that echoed through the corrupt police associations and families who have been climbing over the fence and breaking the building rules this summer 2025. And they often call out the staff, these children are calling out the staff at drive homes, and they're calling out their names just for the fun of it, so that they know that I know who is giving them evil freedoms. So they're going from one extreme to the other, from being the devil's Jacob, the devil's Joshua, stealing the role of the saint, and they've gone to the other extreme of being the bad guy. They're not going to copy the saint. They're not going to copy disrespectfully. They look like an angel, but it's the devil in disguise. So they're either the disguise or they're not the disguise. Either way, they've got both freedoms. So this association corrupt police, their families, have come over, thrown the football in the summer in my balcony, in the bin area, in the laundry area, and my balcony, and the fencing areas. And my landlord did nothing but overturn and twist to make it look like I'm the one who's antisocial, to blame it on me. I didn't do anything to harm the children. I was there to help the children to stop the fence from falling on top of them. I warned them and told them to move out of the way. They did listen and they did obey, but they were always scheming and plotting what to do next, how they could violate my civil rights and my privacy. And so they were echoing that, the staff, children playing, and making jokes about the staff playing from my housing officials, as if they were like invisible friends and they were playing together, using the same names, which is psychological abuse, to say that the staff is on their side and is never on my side, the homeowners versus the non-homeowners, and their families, which is so disgusting. And the next thing you know, they've taken over my app for Just Eat, and the next thing you know, they've taken over my taxi, who is also called Ali. So this Ali, A-R-A-L-I, is a dodgy taxi driver, deliberately designed to echo these corrupt children and this corrupt police associated to somebody on the motorbike, to the devils on the motorbike, to the devils of these families, who are part of the corrupt gangsters who are gang-stalking me. So he now has the same name. It's not a coincidence. It's a designer to threaten me, to frighten me. I wasn't afraid, but I was disgusted. I thought I was going to puke. It was so bad, the smell in the taxi. I should actually pay for it. And oh my God, it was, oh no, even his body, his expression of his body was the same as a zombie. It was a zombie driver. It was, how can I say, it was the same as dead meat. That's the way I could say it, to describe it. It was as if he was so cold, so calculated, so not human. It was inhuman. That's how I could say it. And I kept silent. I didn't speak to him. I didn't want to open my mouth because I thought I was going to vomit. And at the same time, I've eaten an egg sandwich for the first time in 6 months. I couldn't do the poop. For the poop samples, I did the urine, but not the poop. And I copied the devil by peeing all over there, evil judges. And did the proper labelling and everything. And it's totally evil. Put it in a special box. But I couldn't do the poop because I made a mistake in booking the appointment at 3ish in the afternoon. And I was 10 minutes late due to the fact that this driver was stuck in traffic. And due to the fact that this driver was dodgy. He deliberately made me late. I don't think that's a good excuse that I was stuck in traffic. But also I was stuck in the loo, which is a genuine excuse, trying to do a poop. And it wouldn't do because an hour later, literally, I drank loads of juice and water and managed to have normal poop. And that was clear, literally, because I'm as a sieve. If I eat, it normally comes out with me after 2 hours. My stomach is as a sieve. And I've been asking for help, waiting lists forever. By the time I finally get someone to help me, they're not there to heal, they're there to harm, and I have to have a second opinion. I've had more than 4 years of their medication, which made my tummy worse. It just misdiagnosed me, and the treatment was wrong. So by the time I actually find someone, it's too late, the damage has already been done, I'm dead, and twice dead. I mean, what's the point of the government paying GPs? We have to go to second opinion, third opinion, and then that going privately, because you're not getting the correct treatment. Can that be changed? Can that be improved? This is not power, this is abuse. To have to put this trust and waiting systems for nothing. And so I've had this in total since 2015 of my tummy problems. 2015 to 2025 is a long time to not be treated, to find a correct diagnosis, correct treatment, and so it's very bad. It's only there for people who are paying privately. So what the government has done is say that they're there to protect the rich, but they want to destroy the poor, particularly if they don't like you. And they target us like this, particularly single and disabled women. So then what happened? Where was I? I'm trying to keep my mind in order by this. So the rich royals are more important than the poor royals in Christ. We can't even be called royals or sovereign because we're poor. So I'm going to look at the same individuals who farted in my shopping, which was from Just Eat, are still around, even on my new telephone number. So I'm going to screenshots, and I'm going to find it, which is just here. Let's have a look. So they have said it's out of stock. One iceberg lettuce out of the 4, so it's 5 in total I wanted. So they're playing. I can't believe that they're out of stock. So what I do is put my iceberg lettuce in a bag and on a balcony to keep it cold. So I can't keep them in the fridge. And I often eat it with healthy things. And yeah. So it seems as though that these antichrists, who are anti-Christian, are siding with the one who had molested me, who was 40 years older than me, and he's using the same taxi service. So he has preferential treatment because the government like him, but they don't like me. So the problem of being refunded is that it takes 5 days to be refunded. So it's okay if it's a small amount, if they've taken one item out of my shopping, but it's not okay if they take half of the items in my half of this, look, let me zoom out, has been removed. And it takes 5 working days to receive, and sometimes I never receive the compensation, the refund. Such as here, look at this, Waitrose, which is an expensive shop. They don't like me shopping there, these rich thugs. So they've removed 5 litres of water, black toothbrushes, 5 storage boxes, 1 litre large boxes. I can put my animal food in there and things. I'm using cover boxes at the moment. Yeah, so the total that they've taken was £20. And I have to wait for 5 days to have that money back. Sometimes it's £50. Sometimes it's more than that. Because they want to limit how much I shop per shop to no more than £50. So they're telling me how I should shop. They're watching what I'm purchasing and stealing things out of my shopping trolley. So this is something to do with the Arabs and the Nazis. But I can't call them that. I have to call them bad guys. Also said I was going to turn this phone. So who's ruining technology? It's the same lot who are making World War III. Because of weaponized technology, the internet that could be used for good, they have decided to use it for surveillance, illegal surveillance, and they have decided to use it for bad. So also I've noticed I have this, I don't forget it, which is security screen, which automatically connects to corrupt police. So I'm better off not to use it. But if I don't use it, then they deliberately put criminals on your phone. So you can't win, it's catch-22. Corrupt police versus criminals, what would you rather? So now I'm going to, it's not a storm of something I've imagined, it's worse than your worst nightmare. It is something that they want to use me as an experiment, how they can make civil war. That's what it is in the future. Because if they can do it to me, they can do it to everyone or anybody, particularly the target. Vulnerable. So I am going to go through what happened. I arrive at the GP's and regarded by witness, I have genocidal maniacs or individual murderers screaming at the receptionist, shouting on the top of their voices. I couldn't hear myself think. Horrible man's voice at the reception who was very aggressive. And then I decided to go to the toilet to get away from the noise and try and make myself useful for. I was there on time, but because there was such a big queue and an aggressive individual, I couldn't log in to speak to a receptionist, not log in, to let them know that I've arrived. They have a touch screen, and every time, for the 6 times I've got in to touch the touch screen at my GP surgery, there was a technological error. And that's why I decided to record them, because there's something suspicious going on regarding my privacy. You don't have any other patient who has the same problem. I reported it every time to reception. specialist to let them know I am not recognised. Now, I have been with this doctor's surgery for about more than 2 years, or 2 years to be precise. And I recently started going there because they can't visit me. It's more than a mile away, which is another unfair policy the government has implemented. So I have to go to them, even though I'm really disabled and painful. Rush, it hurts when I sit. I can't put any underwear on. It hurts when I put underwear on. I'm itchy, or if not less than itchy, it stings. Severe infection, which is bacterial infection, caused by a mouldy shower and other problems in the shower, which is bacterial. And I've gone to see my GP. And in total, about 6 times between October and November. About 6 or 7 times. I would say I don't think 6 times. I don't think it was on the 3rd of October. And then I think I saw there was somebody again. I had 3 appointments. There was about 4 appointments in total, or 5 appointments maximally, no more than that. For the first time in my life in 2 years. And I was properly registered. And then all of a sudden, I have to fill in more forms because the government has made everyone use online services, as if I've never been registered, as if I've never been there. I was never registered. So suddenly they're asking me for a utility bill, my passport, my deed poll change of name after 4 decades. I changed my name for the first time to Mimma. That wasn't Maria. And so what happened then, I touched the screen, put my new name, put my, which is the one I registered with for 2 years, but they don't recognise my name, they don't recognise my date of birth for the 6 times I signed into the touchscreen. And today, this is why I record them, because it's very strange things going on, and the way I'm being treated differently, in a discriminatory way, and not given the same chances or options that other patients have. And so for my own perspective and things, I recorded it. She told me to stop recording, and I said, then print the list of my blood tests, and I want to know what this means. So she gave me a list of the blood tests, which I'm also going to share. They were all normal except for my liver. So my kidney was fine except for my liver. That's because I was poisoned by risperidone. She said I've got very weak liver. So this was all done. Here's the date. I'll use the camera for my blood test. And she said they're all normal except for liver. But recently I have had this infection, bacterial infection in the thrush, for long exposure, which is torture, of 3 years regarding my shower unit. So 1st of October, she's taken my blood, got the results, they're all normal, except for the liver. And then she said they're slightly raised. I did have a high fever in August. And so yeah, and she's made an appointment for me to be scanned for my liver and my stomach to be scanned to find out what's going on. So that has been done. Then she sent forms today for me to have cholesterol to check diabetes. I don't have much sugar, so normal is fine. Or fruit, not what most people do. I handed in my old passport, which looks like this. I'm going to show some. I'm going to zoom in. I'm not going to show all of it. I'm just going to show some of it. However, they're targeting me because it says I was born in Belgrade. Let's show that. There you go. There's my old name. Let's show it. Trying to get some lights. It's really bad. Very, very bad. Here we go. Maya Maria, British citizen. I zoomed in. But it said, born in Belgrade. And there's me. Yeah. So they've taken that today. Now everyone can see. British citizen. But where does it say born in Belgrade? Let me find it. It just near the F for female. Where does it say F? British citizen. It's just, I can't see it. Where my thumb is. So follow my thumb. There's my thumb in Belgrade. See? And this is on my British citizen passport. I don't have. This expired in May 2023, and it's now 2025. Let me zoom in to May 2023. So the GP has taken this, unaware of the fact that I have an Arab Nazi, and a German Nazi, and an Irish Nazi, bad guy, spying on their NHS network. They're unaware of that. I did tell them. So now they've scanned that, and this is identity theft, which is also fraud because I told them it's expired and I haven't handed in my official deed poll. I haven't completed this because I want to outlive Keir Starmer. When Keir Starmer is removed, then I will apply for a new passport. And I've also got a stamp in here which proves I've been to a family-friendly holiday. I took my daughter, we were all insured, to former Yugoslavia for her first time in her life that we enjoyed thoroughly, to Macedonia and Montenegro. And there's a stamp there which shows 2013. Oh, that's stupid. I don't know what's going on with this light, but it's not doing a very good job. The phone has fallen down, that's why. Let's see. Yep. There's the stamp. Crna Gorka. Black Forest. Gorka. Yep. And so that went well. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, they should give us foldable cups to urinate in. The ones that we can fold. Because this is so small. It's disgusting. I did ask to say to have my NHS file, I need a linkage key and ODS codes and all the practice ID for refuse to give it to me. So I find it really difficult to make appointments without an up-to-date passport. I have completed the form today and gave that in. But I've also given my new picture, the one that looks like a troll, for my GP, which is the best I have for now. So that has a strong camera. The normal camera doesn't seem to work properly. So my features, I have highlighted. So they made me do a form, which is an online access form. I provided them everything in 5 PDFs by email, which is also being spied on by the enemies. So since I've shared my email with Thrive Homes, they've now overtaken my phone, they've overtaken my taxi service, they've overtaken my apps, and I'm being punished for their bad judges. That's the outcome, that's the result. But this should not be happening. I have to provide my email address to my landlord. How am I going to fix and repair this bedroom that has been flooded? It has been flooded, this bedroom. And they've stolen, again, it's a repeated offence. I can't defend myself. There's a ceiling. I'm using my own electricity, which is plugged into the socket, because the ceiling does not work. It has been barricaded, this room. They started it in August, but they didn't finish it in August 2025. It's poor workmanship. The water tank is already leaking. So the history repeated itself over and over again in limbo, how the enemy is stealing my accounts, which is Warrior Zena and Karen Azeka. They've stolen both of my accounts. And even if I was to pay for protection, extra protections on my phone, they can still access it because they have too much power through corrupt police. So it's killing me very slowly, destroying my reputation, taking away my roots, accusing me of being one of them. I'm not them. So what does the Holy Spirit say as a witness? It's so disgusting. I don't think I should pay for that taxi journey. What they've done. And it's like the Holy Spirit witness. The Holy Spirit witness and angels witness. They're bugging me. They're annoying. They are the part. They're also a shadow that wants to be bigger than me. I'm looking at the door. They read. What have I got as a witness? They're 2 people. So it's not all in my mind. It's not me having a nervous breakdown or being afraid. I'm feeling faint from all the chaos, the long waiting game, and this is so unfair. It's also some type of orchestra. What is so bad about paparazzi? What's it? Oh, I can't say. These rich Italians that were chasing royals. I can't even say their names. It sounds like I've been released from prison, but only to have more pain and anxiety, which is what I want the opposite to be. My home should not be a prison. I should not be seen as a political prisoner in my own home. I should not be feeling afraid of having something unexpected happen, such as a stalker who would suddenly burst into the reception and start shouting and rubbing his shoulder with my shoulder. I quickly escaped because I needed to hide in the toilet rooms their voice sounded super loud and super unhuman. And so I remained peace and took away that fear, took away the anger, and absolute real type of Punch and Judy pantomime or some type of theatre for a very bad comedian. So there's no harmony, there's no help for the disabled. I took extra pain relief, made myself comfortable, took the coat off, put the coat in the bathroom area because it was extremely hot, unseasonably warm, 15 Celsius indoors, 16 outdoors in November month. But it was raining, so I took my coat off, raincoat off, left it in the bathroom, noticed there was no coat hangers. So what they want to do is destroy my taxi service, which they've done. I'm never going to use Judy cars again. They want to destroy my access to the hospital or any treatment, so I don't trust the NHS at all. This is what these bad guys are doing. Because it's a death threat. This is ridiculous. Why should my journey to see my own doctor or hospital be a death threat? And the answer is because they've made the gap between the rich and the poor even bigger to say that if you want to survive and recover, you have to go privately. This is exactly what they've done, which is human rights abuse. There's also, so we have the poor people, or bad stalkers and bad spies. We also have someone who is more advanced, and they are the remote people who are very traditional. They don't like using the internet. And I'm saying, no, I want to resist this because the internet could be used for good much more than it could be used for evil. The internet and the AI and robot, it depends who's programming it, who's monitoring it. If it's the bad guy in the wrong hands, it's used for war. If it's the good guy used in the right hands, it's used for peace. So it entirely depends who's using the internet. That's my view. It shouldn't be only used for married men or for married women who are couples. It should be there to protect the singles. And I've noticed this is what the Arabs are doing. The Muslim Arab and the Jewish Arabs. They concentrate on a business for families, and they reject it to support single people, crippled, pregnant. They've stopped that. It's to a disadvantage to use the internet, and which is very bad, as the government is expecting the elderly, the seniors, and the frail, and the fragile, and student children to use more of the internet. So it's an extreme contradiction. Also, the music industry, the gaming industry, to protect the younger generation much more. That's a Holy Spirit witness. But according to my foster mum, from the beginning of this video to the end of the video, she thinks that this organization is a terrorist and it causes more surveillance. And we need to lower our expectations, not to make internet and robot more important than humans at a greater height of protecting us and making us safe and secure. She says that as a traditional in her 80s, but it is opposite to what the globalist and New World Order is saying. So many people are confused as a result. So this is what the older generation is saying, which is opposite to what the younger generation is saying. It's already too late. Damage has already been done. We're already desensitized, and we have already frozen our senses and given it over to the internet. So this is what the saints are saying is the opposite of what the older generation is saying. We're saying that since the damage has already been done, it's too late now to go back to our traditional roots and be remote people. We have to make a new type of society that does rely on people who exist as a younger generation for entertainment and for education. Because it is devastating when people don't have access to the internet. Because then they don't have the food, they don't have the medicines, and they don't have a doctor. So that's my point. And the older generation does not understand, and this worries me so much. They're not being prepared, or they feel it's bonkers, as the English say. So we're seeking God in our books, traditionally, that I love. However, with the internet, we also have to seek God, because God is not limited to a book. Yeah, because I'm worried how many people are dying as a result of not having access to the internet. They cannot have access to the doctor, to medication, to future, to education, or for social. That's what worries me, because it's already too late. I haven't created it. It wasn't my idea. And so this is another way how they're making genocide in the future by popping off all the poor people who don't have the internet access or who are persecuted by cyber attacks. At the moment, they're persecuting the rich and the poor. There have been shops such as Marks and Spencer's in England who have lost a lot of money, one billionaire versus another billionaire, because of what the internet has done. So the rich and the poor are being persecuted through the internet. But the point is, in the future, it will aim to target the poorest so that we don't exist. It will be another type of genocide. And they can simply resign, the rich and the working class, or exit very quickly. It's the selfish power that causes more confusion. That's how I close my video. My decision is not to leave my GP, to remove the bug associated to me on their system, so I don't have to record them anymore. I recorded them because I didn't know what was happening. Am I being defrauded? Am I given the wrong medications? Can I trust my GP since I'm not recognised on their system? So of course I'm going to record that. I did record the screen too, which is somewhere on my phone. I recorded the touch screen when I arrived for an appointment. It never recognised me. As if I don't exist. Or it's an effort by the superior royals or Freemasons to say we're going to murder you next.